Welcome guys to another episode of Tales of Middle-earth, and today I'm going to continue on with the construction of Lake Town videos that I've been posting. So this is the third construction of Lake Town video, and it's basically where I show my progress of building my Lake Town board. So I still have only 9 of the kits on me at this point in time. I'm still waiting on 2 further ones. I should receive one tomorrow, so when this video comes out it'll be Sunday, so I should receive my 10th kit then, and then sometime in the mail or whenever I see one of my friends, he'll have another kit for me as well, which will be my 11th kit. But I've been working quite hard on it recently. Got a ton of painting. Thankfully it's all dry brushing for the most part, done on the houses, as well as the boats and the barrels and some sacks. And I even attempted or tested out my idea for ice flows. So it's quite interesting so far. Everything is at a point where I can actually use it. It is a usable board now. Everything is painted up. I don't have the snow effects on it, but I will show you that when I get down to the board level. I'm quite impressed with the detail of these kits. Everything, I have more of like a muted palette, weathered, textured on my houses, and so it really adds to the sort of dark and dreariness that I think, or I believe Lake Town would have, being that it's in the middle of the lake. You have all the wood that is starting to rot and age and weather, and just the snowy sort of effects, which will add to it eventually, but it's not there yet, except. Anyhow, enough here. Let's get down on the board. Let's show you what I have completed. Well, here you have it. This is where I'm at with my Lake Town board. There's plenty of houses that you can see here. Just in this screen here, you can see 6 of the 8 houses or buildings that I have in the Lake Town boards thus far. This one over here is like a small shack, where this one over here, it's more of a just a regular house with a little outing for the outhouse. Back here you can see this was the longhouse one that I had, so it's more of a higher class. With here you can actually, this section here I painted blue, so like I've stuck to, like I said, a muted color palette that you can see with the sort of weather wood look. And then the blues that I've been using have been sort of more of a muted blue as well. They're not as vibrant, almost like a deep midnight blue, colonial blue, whatever you want to have it. So this week I've painted up the rest of the houses that I didn't have painted up last time. On top of that, I also painted up the boats. So that's the boat there. I tried to change the coloring up compared to the houses, so it's not as weathered looking. So I primed it the same brown color, and then I dry brushed it the same gray color, and then I just used the golden yellow and then a tan dry brushes on top of that, and then the tan color for the rope with like a sepia sort of color as well. So that's what I did with that. So the boats are scattered around here. I also finished off barrels, so the barrels, they're done as well, and that's just primed brown and then dry brush gray with a brown wash over it, so Agrax earth shade. So that's all I did for that. So I got all the barrels done, and then I got sacks done as well. So in this little boat here, all it is primed like I want to almost say like a earthy sort of olive green sort of color. It's really hard to see, but so that's that there, and then I just did a brown wash on top of it, just nice and simple, because all it is scatter terrain. It's nothing that is super significant to the board, and so I didn't want it to stand out all that much. So let's do a quick pan so you can sort of see what I have the board set up as, and I'll continue to discuss. So here's a quick pan of how the board is set up. So you can see the 2 houses at the very back corner there. You got another house there with some walkways and boats, and then a small little shack. The one that's sort of in the middle of the screen there What it is again, I cut off the top part, which is this section here that I made into the shack, and put one of the square sort of bases on top of it to be like a balcony, and then attach that to the side of one of the other Lake Town houses, so it's like a kit bash of two of the kits. And then over on this side, just the longhouse, another house down here as well, and then some boats and such like that. So that is my Lake Town. Like I said, I still have more coming. I just don't know when exactly I'm gonna get them done. I should have, when this video is there, I should have my 10th kit, and then the 11th, I'm not sure 100% when I will have it, but I'm looking forward to getting it. So these are the ice flows moving forward. So all I've done, again, using the storage containers, the Tupperware containers, whatever you want to call it, it's just thin plastic, and I've just shaped them into shapes, and those are going to be the ice flows. So like a model or two can leap on there like so, and then I think the rules are you roll a scatter die, and I think they go like D3 inches in that direction, and so they can float around. But if you're on there at the beginning of the turn, you got to roll a D6, I believe, and on a 1 you fall into the lake and you die, instant casualty. So that's never good, but it's interesting because you can jump across them and stuff like that to traverse them, so that is good. And the boats themselves are good because you can actually move around 6 inches with them, as long as you don't have a contesting model in there from your enemy's force. So I'm excited. The board, I would say, is usable. It's to a point where it's definitely tabletop, to a tabletop standard. I could play some games on here. I still need to add the snow effects, and again, if for anybody else that hasn't seen the snow effects, that is sort of what it looks like there. I just added some onto that walkway. So yeah, so that's all I really gotta do is the snow effects. I didn't paint the fenders or the paddles for the boats yet. I'm thinking they're just gonna be a gray with maybe a brown wash. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm working on more ice flows right now, or ice chunks for the ice flow. I have like 6 or 7 that I've shaped. You can see a couple in the center of the board, and then there's a couple that were over to the other side as well. So I have 6 or 7 of those all painted up. Oh yeah, I also painted up the sheds and stuff too. So the sheds / outhouses. It's funny actually, my wife came home today because I just finished painting them up earlier, and I was showing her what I was painting, and she's like, "Oh, those look like outhouses." I'm like, "Well, that's because they are outhouses." And she's like, "Well, that would make sense why they look like them then." So found a little humor in that myself, you know, and it's good. So everything's turning out well. I'm looking forward to getting some battle reports done on this board. If you guys have any thoughts as to factions you would like to see face off on this board, definitely leave it in the comments below, because I'd be interested. I know I'm going to be using my Lake Town militia because I don't have an actual Lake Town army yet. I just have the Lake Town militia, but they're really just survivors of Lake Town anyways, so they would be in Lake Town for other things. So I'm just gonna say that's what it is. They're there. They're the militia of Lake Town. So they. So I'm hoping, I would like to see them face off against like Hunter Orcs or something along those lines, or maybe I'll do a scenario or two on it. Maybe I'll get enough models and have Smog come burn the buildings down and stuff like that. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys are as excited as I am to see some battle reports from Blackfyre Productions on a Lake Town board. It's been, for the last few weeks, it's been something that has been like a labor of love. I've been putting a lot of my time into this around work and after my surgery that I had and stuff like that. So it's something that I've really enjoyed, and it's been giving me a lot of passion and drive to do it, just because of how good the models look, or the kits look when put together. But yeah, so that is it. Again, let me know what you think. Come back with further discussion. Ah man, I am super excited to play some of these battle reports on my Lake Town boards. I can't wait to get the snow effects onto the roofs and some of the barrels and walkways, stuff like that, just to give it some more of that true sort of Lake Town feel that you see in the movies. So I don't know what to say. Like my Lake Town Militia will definitely be played on there for factions that I'll be using. I'm hoping somebody that is in my local area has some hunter orcs they can bring, because I'd like to sort of have those two face off. Maybe even do like an alliance between Iron Hill Dwarves and Lake Town Militia. I know I would really like to get some Lake Town, like Army of Lake Town on there, not the militia, but the other guys, allied with Iron Hills. But I don't have them, so I just do regular Lake Town militia and face off against other factions. And again, if you guys have any ideas as to what you would like to see on the board, definitely leave a comment below. Or if you have any suggestions for the board itself, leave those comments below as well. I would definitely be open to anything and opinions that you guys have. Well, guys, thank you for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, ignite your hobby.